Hey guys, and welcome back to another episode of Okay, I Said Too Much podcast. How are we doing, everybody? I hope you guys enjoyed my first episode back. I know it was a little all over the place. We're going to be talking all about our 2025 goals, our winter arc, beating the winter uglies, everything like that. So if you guys are excited for this new episode, just go ahead and keep on listening. I'm happy to be back for another week. I hope you guys have a fantastic rest of your week and a very exciting weekend. Okay, guys, I really want to talk about this topic today because I see it talked about all the time online, and it's like winter uglies, your winter arc, and all that. And I think that goes perfectly into 2025 goals. So basically, I saw a TikTok. It was a Black woman. Let's do what we need to do. So by summer of next year, we can be living our best lives. And I think the sentiment too is so it helps with seasonal depression, not feeling so down, and just doing all these things to take care of yourself to combat that, which I think is a great idea, because then I always see, if you've never listened to them, it's called Gals on the Go podcast. They usually do an episode like this every winter, where it's how to beat the winter uglies. And so I think that ties right into that. Why do we experience this? Why does cold weather make us feel like this? Why do we feel like we need to do all we can do in the wintertime to feel our best? Does the feeling of being down in the wintertime make it harder for you to set goals for 2025? So I saw a podcast. She has recently changed the podcast episode name. I think it's called House Guest, but it's by Kinsey Elizabeth, and she does in October is your new January. And I was that's actually a really good idea. For me, setting goals in the wintertime in January is very hard, because it's cold weather makes it very hard for me to hit the ground running. I started my weight loss journey, oddly enough, in October. So it's not that has to get started for me, but it's just, I can't think of my goals for this year when it's cold outside. Everyone has the same basic goals of they want to save money, they want to lose weight, but people are always to set really goals, you have to set really good goals. You have to get very detailed and down to the nitty gritty of what you want to do. You want a timeline when you're going to complete it. I can't think about that when it's 40 degrees outside. I can't think about that when it's 20 degrees outside. Or if one of your goals is getting outside more. How can I start on that right now? But to tie this all back in to why I'm talking about this today, I woke up yesterday, and I'm pre-recording this episode. So yesterday was the 27th. So it was a couple of days after Christmas. And I was I have a case of the winter uglies. I have been having a case of winter uglies, and the Christmas season, everything was so hectic. I didn't realize I was having a case of the winter uglies. I did my nails yesterday, and I was I haven't had my nails done in weeks. Maybe it hasn't been that long, but it had been a while. I'm my hair needs to get done. My skin is going crazy. I just woke up and I did not feel like myself. Part of it could have been that I was slightly under the weather, but I was literally having that moment where I was what the hell is going on with me? And I'm I was looking in the mirror, and I was this is what people mean by the winter uglies. This is what they mean. And I hate to say this, and don't take this the wrong way, but I never really see Black women talking about having the winter uglies. And I'm I wonder if we have a tan year round. So I'm I wonder if that's why we don't feel that feeling of winter uglies, because we're tan. Because, well, we're not tan, we're Black. So I'm do we not feel winter uglies? Because I think sometimes that is why people feel that, because they're oh, I'm pale. The summertime makes me feel pale. I also do a really good job of keeping up with my vitamins and all that, but I have not been taking my vitamins recently. And so I think my vitamin D is low, and I need to get back on that, because that is really the key of beating any winter uglies. You need to be taking your vitamin D, y'all. This is the holy trinity for me. Vitamin D, B12, elderberry, to beat the winter uglies. And I'd been slacking on all of those. B12 because B12 just gives you energy. It's just good for you. Vitamin D because that's like what you get from the sun. So like you need that to feel good. That's why you feel good when you're out in the sun, because your body's absorbing vitamin D. And elderberry so you don't get sick. And I had been slacking on all of those. And now I have no energy. I don't feel like I've been out in the sun and I'm sick. And so I was like, that is the key. That is the key. You don't need a winter arc. Always eat better, take care of yourself, do those things. I now know the importance of going to the gym and eating healthy. It really does help. So yes, but you don't need a winter arc to feel your best. You don't need to beat your winter uglies. You need to be taking your supplements. And I think the craziest thing for me, and that I had to come to, as an adult, as a 31-year-old adult, I have to be taking my supplements. I need to be taking my prebiotics. I need to be taking my fiber supplements. That is why you feel bad. That is why you feel crappy, because you are not taking your vitamins. You need to be taking your vitamins. That is why. We are too old, y'all. We're too old to not be taking our vitamins. I am not one of those people who are like, I need to consult with my doctor on what vitamins I should be taking. I need to take a blood test to see what vitamins my body needs. You're 30. And if you're listening to this podcast, you probably are 30 or well over 30. You need to be taking a multivitamin. You need everything. You need all of them. Do you get cold all the time? You probably need some iron. Are you feeling down the dumps? You probably need some vitamin D. Are you tired all the time? You need your B vitamins. Take some zinc. Take some elderberry so you don't get sick. Anytime I get sick, it is when I'm slacking taking my elderberry. When I take my elderberry every single day religiously, I do not get sick. We are old. There's not all these things you need to do. You need to take your vitamins. And then drink enough water so if you don't need a certain vitamin or you are getting enough nutrients through your food, you flush it out of your system, and then you're not going to get a UTI. Like, I will say, I'll give you my supplement regimen, guys, because I think this is truly how you beat the winter uglies, is your supplement game. Okay. Ollie, multivitamin for women, extra strength. So it has all your B vitamins. It has omega-3s. It has zinc. It has vitamin D. It's literally everything you need. I think the only thing it doesn't have in it is iron, but I don't really need a lot of iron. I eat red meat. I eat broccoli. Okay. Probiotic, prebiotic. I take a woman's probiotic with cranberry, and it also has prebiotics in it. You can get them on Amazon. They're like Physicians Formula. And then I just take my butt to Walmart or Target and get elderberry. They always come in gummies. You cannot find a non-gummy elderberry anywhere. I don't recommend gummy vitamins particularly, but you can't find elderberry in anything else. I used to drink like liquid IVs every day, but you don't need a liquid IV every day. That's crazy. But you should be drinking enough water. You should be. Okay. If you feel like you need something like a little extra hydration, Propel makes a electrolyte drink and it doesn't have as much sodium in it. So you can do that and put that in your water. But liquid IV had like a lot of vitamin D and a lot of B12. So I was like, I need to be drinking that every day. You don't need to drink that every day. You need a woman's multivitamin with omega-3s because we're getting old and our joints hurt and you're going to the gym. You need omega-3s for your joint and your heart. That's also going to help your cholesterol. You need a probiotic, prebiotic. The plus cranberry is just an added plus, and you need some elderberry, and you will never experience winter uglies. But I feel like your appearance is like the outside, the inside out. Like you need your insides to feel good. Like when I'm in the gym, doing my fitness, closing my Apple Watch rings every day, I feel great. I never experience a winter ugly. I never experience anything. I feel great. Okay. When I'm on top of taking my supplements, I'm eating a vegetable with every single meal. I'm drinking enough water. I feel great. And I think what happens is, as it starts getting cold, we hit the holidays, and then it's all the holiday sweets, all the holiday foods. And then it's okay. If you're working a job, it's like hurrying and getting stuff done before the end of the year. And then it's Christmas and it's more sweet treats and it's more this and it's more that. And then like you may be home for the holidays, so you want to drink with friends. It's all of these things all combined. And that is what creates winter uglies. That is what makes you feel like you need a winter arc. That one makes you think on January 1st, you need to start living this brand new life. No, you got to keep up with yourself. You got to keep taking your vitamins. You got to be drinking your water. You got to be eating healthy. And y'all, I am living proof that all of this works, because if you would have asked me this a year ago, I would have been like, I don't even know what runner's high is. I don't believe in runner's high. I don't subscribe to that ministry. It is a real thing. It is 100% a real thing. I experience it almost every single day now when I work out. And I will say too, if you have a hard time getting yourself motivated for the gym, take a pre-workout. It's okay. So I don't really drink coffee anymore. So now I don't feel as bad like drinking a pre-workout. So I drink like 1 shot of espresso with a protein shake in the morning. And then I drink 1 scoop of OxyShred. The directions tell you to take 1 scoop in the morning and 1 scoop before you go to the gym. I don't do that because that's crazy. That's like a lot of coffee and a lot of caffeine in one day. But I just take a scoop of OxyShred before I do any type of physical activity. And when I tell you, it makes you feel like you're floating on clouds. Like, I have been running on a treadmill. When has anyone ever known me to run on a treadmill? I run on a treadmill now because I take OxyShred. And OxyShred also has all those good things in it. It's supposed to boost your mood, all that. I will say one thing about OxyShred and pre-workouts, it's always good to take like a break. So I don't work out every day, so I don't take it every day. I just wouldn't take it on those, like, they're called resting active days. I just wouldn't take it on that day. But if you're going to be taking something like that, your body doesn't need to be taking it every single day. Get a good amount of sleep too is another good thing to do that. I have officially started locking my apps on my phone at night. They lock at 9:30, and honestly, I feel like eventually I'm going to bump that up a little bit higher, but they lock at 9:30 until 7 the next morning, and I get up at 6. So they lock until an hour after I get up. And I do that because I need to sleep better, and I don't want to be doom scrolling all night. So I lock my apps. I'm eventually going to try to push it up to 8:30. And so as soon as they lock, I just start reading. I use the app Antisocial. And you do have to pay for it. But when I tell you that app means business, when you click on it, it'll be like, this app is blocked by Antisocial, and you cannot edit it while it is actively on. You also don't get any notifications while the app is locked, which I think is really nice. I would be pissed. So it is really nice too that it does not send you any notifications. I'm asleep by 10 o'clock almost every night. I open my Kindle, I start to read, and I'm asleep before I've read like a whole chapter. It works. And I'm telling you, doing all these things are going to make you feel like it, like usually by the time January 1st is coming up, it feels so daunting for me because I haven't been doing anything. And I feel like I have all these things I need to do. Oh, I want to go to bed early. Oh, I want to eat healthier. Oh, I want to work out more. But I've been doing all those things, and I've been taking care of my body from the literal inside out. And so now January 1st just feels like a normal day for me. Like, I don't feel like I'm like ramping up for anything. Like, I don't feel like I need to prep my like mind, body, and soul for the new year. And so like the other day when I looked at myself in the mirror and I was like, wow, I'm having winter uglies. It was all like, okay, I need to wear a pimple patch for a couple of hours. I need to do my nails. I need to deep condition and do my hair. And then once I got all those things done, I was like, okay, now I feel fine. Like, it wasn't like I need to completely overhaul my life going into the new year or to jump on this whole bandwagon. My 2025 goals, which is what we're going to get into next, are so simple. They're so simple. And I just don't feel like I'm like in this mood where I need to overhaul my whole life. So listen to me when I say, even if you're like 25 plus, take your multivitamins, take your vitamins, take care of yourself, go to bed early, drink enough water, do what you need to do, get enough protein in too, because I promise you, you're probably not eating enough protein either, and that will make you feel better. So let's jump into my 2025 goals. When you're really just doing what you're supposed to do all year round, the first does not feel daunting. The only thing that does feel a little daunting is who is cooking dinner on the first. Because I need some black eyed peas and I need some collard greens ASAP. Okay? So who's doing the cooking? But I'm going to give you guys a quick weight loss update, a quick life update on my weight loss. So I am on a GLP-1. I'm on semaglutide. I am taking 0.5 currently once a week. I take it on Sunday nights to be exact, so I can sleep through my side effects. But I really haven't had any crazy side effects. I will say I had dumping syndrome for the first time ever. I'm not going to tell you guys what dumping syndrome is. If you're very curious, you can Google it. But I had dumping syndrome for the first time from eating pho, because I made it super spicy and I had a slice of pizza. I don't really crave sweets anymore. I'll be like, ugh, I want something, but it just doesn't give me the same satisfaction. Let me rewind. The reason I started taking a GLP-1 is because I have a binge eating disorder. So I constantly chased a high from food. I did not eat food for the satisfaction of, oh, I'm hungry, I need to eat something, until I'm satiated, and then I'm good. I was worse at night, so I can go through like a scenario. So I'm laying in my bed at night. I'm not sleepy. That's another reason why I now go to sleep so early, is because I need to being up late is a trigger for my binge eating. So I would be up late in my bed and I'm like, okay, I need a little something. So I would eat a little something. That little something didn't tickle the itch that was way deep in the back of my brain. So I'd have to eat something else. That didn't do it for me either. The itch is not gone. The feeling of what I needed from that snack was not fulfilled. So I would have something else, and I would have something else. And then it would be like 2 hours later and I've had 7 snacks. And then I would go to sleep on all of that, because finally the last snack would finally itch the feeling that I was trying to get from it. And then I could go to bed. And so then I would sleep on top of that. And that is literally how I would gain all my weight. Or it would be like late and I would be like, you know what would sound so good? Taco Bell did not sound good, girl. You did not need Taco Bell. And then it would be like I was in the line and I'm like, I don't know how I'm going to feel after I eat these things. So I need to get, what is the item that is going to itch the scratch that I'm having in my brain right now? What is that item? I don't know what it is. So I need to eat 5, 6 different things on this menu to feel that. And it wouldn't be like, let me like eat a bit of this, piece of that, piece of that. No, I have to eat the entire thing to see if it's going to give me the feeling that I need from it. And then it'd be like, oh, do I have something sweet now to go after it? That is how my binge eating was and how it manifested. It was some people it's like an emotional experience. Me, it's like a high. Like when they say addicts are constantly chasing the high, I was constantly chasing the high of when you have something really good and it's like everything you always ever wanted. And it's okay, I feel good now. It wasn't because it's, oh, I felt full. That had nothing to do with it. It was like, that food item made me feel good. And so I started GLP-1s. It stops the food noise. I have never known a life without food noise. Like I've never experienced going through day to day and not constantly thinking about food, because I was constantly thinking about, I would be at work and I'd be like, is my lunch going to make me feel how I want it to make me feel? Like, is my lunch going to be satisfying mentally for me? That's how I would be thinking about my lunch at work during the day. Oh, do I have a snack to go with that lunch? Do I have something sweet to eat after that? It was just, my whole thoughts were around food. And so I was like, I want to experience what it's like not having food noise. I will say I am a low and slower. I am on a semaglutide Reddit page. There are some people who will be like, I lost 1,000 pounds my first month. And there are some people who have been on it for 3-4 months and have only lost 5 pounds. I'm like medium range in that, where it's been very low and slow, which is fine, because my biggest fear is what's going to happen when I have to go off of a GLP-1. So people are sometimes in maintenance for 1 to 2 years, and I do not want that to be me. I'm healing my relationship with food. I'm 21 pounds down. I eat over 100 grams of protein almost every single day. I think that is like the hardest part of all of it, is that I eat so much protein, but that's what keeps you full. But you have to have a carb with the protein to actually keep you full. That's like what people don't teach you. Like you can't just have proteins all day long and think it's going to do anything. You need to have a carb with that protein. So my calorie deficit is actually very easy, very doable. And if you're working out and burning calories throughout the day, that also helps too. So that is my weight loss goals, I am not looking to be a certain size or a certain number. I just personally just want to feel good. Like I shouldn't be 30 plus worrying about how I look in clothes, worrying about how I feel in clothes. I shouldn't be 30 plus sitting on the beach wondering if people are talking about how I look in my bathing suit. 30 is such a freeing age. Like I feel so free in who I am as a person at the age of 30 that I was like, I should be able to feel that way also about my body. I feel like I had insane body dysmorphia of seeing myself opposite of how I was. Like, oh, y'all, I be comparing pictures and I was so fucking big. I'm still big now, but like it's getting there. But oh my God, I was big as hell. It's so crazy I was walking around like that. That literally blows my mind that I walked around looking like that. But yeah, I'm so sorry. But I am so comfortable in who I am, like everything else except for this one part of my life. So like I do have a goal weight I personally want to get at, but it's more about like how my body looks in clothes and how I feel. It's not about a number on the scale. I have turned into a daily scale person. I'm trying to scale back from that, but I do check the scale daily. But it's like when you don't have food noise, it doesn't fuck you up. Like I don't check the scale, gain like an ounce or two and be like, oh my God, well, you know what? Might as well just eat cheeseburger, because I'm not thinking about cheeseburgers. So that is one good thing. I can check the scale daily because I do not have food noise now. So that is just like one goal of mine, to keep pushing, keep doing this, keep taking care of my body from the inside out. The next goal, if you can tell, is I want to not miss a podcast post all year. I'm going to say first 6 months because all year is like a lot. That's 52 podcast episodes. But yes, I want to go a full year doing this, putting my all into it, putting my all into social media and content creation. I know for a fact I can manage social media accounts and be a social media manager if I wanted to, if I had that drive. But I'm trying to find that drive to do that, because that is what I'm good at. I can do social media very well if I put my all and my heart into it. My goal for 2025 is just to be like, girl, you're good at this. You need to do this to your full potential. Finding my content style. Like, I feel like I'm constantly trying to rebrand the I Said Too Much podcast Instagram page, because I'm trying to find the style that fits this podcast the best. And then a huge thing for me this year is just making time for everything. Work, gym, relationship, podcast, friends, like making time for everything. I don't want the podcast or the gym to take over my life in such a tunnel vision type of way. Like I talked about this a little bit last episode of having that tunnel vision in your life. I don't want to have tunnel vision. I want to be able to balance everything. I think the big thing that happened with society post-COVID is this like tunnel vision mentality of like, I just think about me. I just think about what I have going on. Like, we don't build very strong communities of people like we used to. It's not, oh, I'm going over to such and such house for dinner. I'm going to do this to help them out. We don't build these type of strong knit communities anymore, because we're all so worried about what we have going on, the goal we have, the intentions we have set. And so I think I want to work on more like work-life social balance, to where if someone calls me up, I'm not too busy. Everything has a good balance and good time, and I'm staying on top of everything in my life, that where if you call me up, I'm not busy. I'm not like, oh, well, I need to get this. Like, I can go and I can do things because I've set myself up for success. That's the thing. I think 2025 more than anything else is just about setting myself up for success. So that is like a big thing for me. Nurturing my current relationships and making those blossom. I feel like the craziest thing that's happened last year, in the midst of not being as close with other people, I've gotten close to other individuals, and I just want to continue to nurture those relationships, and like my boyfriend and all that, and just continue to be a good partner. So just like I said, just finding a groove that lets me be my best self. And I think that is like every person should be looking into that. But that is just something I definitely want to do. Just people be like, oh, Deidre has so much going on, but she's so reliable. She really makes it happen. And I think that is something like we can all take into our lives. I want to get into a new form of fitness. I really want to try Pilates. I am strong. I can lift a lot of weight. I can get on a treadmill 40, 45 minutes, run at least half of it. I'm not completely there yet, but I'm getting there. I can do all those things. I am not flexible and my core can use a little bit of work. So I really want to get into Pilates. It's just fitting that into the schedule because a big thing with my calorie deficit is also burning the calories. Like I need to be burning the calories. I'm just going to say this, when you're big, you got to be burning the calories. Like you got to be pushing yourself. You got to be doing the workouts that you don't necessarily want to do. Like I wasn't a huge weightlifting type of person, but I need to lift weights. I don't like to run, but running burns more calories. Like you got to be burning the calories to be further into a deficit to lose the weight. Science. And so I think that's how do I fit Pilates into all of that. But I do want to get into that, or maybe cycling, because I think I could do that too, because I do a lot of cardio now. I really want to, that's just a big goal for me. And then I want to redo my room this year, my bedroom. That's such a random goal of 2025, but like it was something I wanted to do in 2024 and I didn't do. But I really want to work on creating an oasis for myself. And like really, I feel like the one thing me and my sister have done is make our house a home. And I understand why, but I don't want to live in that mentality anymore. I want everything to be about comfort and feeling good and feeling relaxed and in place. And I feel like if we take a time right now, our Christmas tree's up. We have not put a Christmas tree up ever since living there, and we put a Christmas tree up, and it's just so nice because Christmas just makes your house feel like a home. And so I feel like us taking the time to do that and hone in on that, I think would be really nice. I've never created a TBR list or a book goal for myself, but I will say with that, I do want to keep up with reading. It all goes back to, I feel like 2025 is really about finding all the balance in life. I feel like, so I got a Nintendo Switch for Christmas, and so it's working out, work, spending time with my partner, going to the gym, finding new ways to move my body, all this, but I also still want to be able to do my hobbies. And right now, podcasting is a hobby, baby, because I don't make not a damn dime off of podcasting, which is not every hobby needs to generate income, but I still treat podcasting like a job. That's what I'm saying. And I want to still have time to do the hobbies that are just hobbies. Reading will always just be a hobby for me. I don't need to be on book talk making TikToks. Like I will always post what I'm reading to my Instagram stories because I feel like I have a lot of Instagram friends that read as well. But I do think I want to set a goal for myself because I read a lot this year. Surprisingly, I did read a lot this year because I've finally gotten into audiobooks. So I have read a lot this year, but I do want to take it to the next level. And I think just setting a goal for myself, setting a number for myself will help me keep that in the back of my head. Reading is always going to be something I do before I go to bed. It's just the perfect wind down thing. So I think just setting that goal for myself and like really making that happen. Like I said, I'm not like a TBR type of person. The only people I keep up with are like Lisa Jewell and Freedom McFadden. And so if I know they have a new book coming out that year, I'm going to read it. But I think this year, I definitely want to take the time to be like, this is the goal, like, so I can keep that sense of balance. So, yeah. I'm like, should I make a Goodreads account or what? Like, how do I keep track of that? That's why I'm also like, I would love to get into bullet journaling because I feel like that would be a good way to keep up with everything is having a bullet journal or some sort of something. Like you see all these people who like print out the cover of books and like will do the whole thing, do the whole bit. Because for me, it's like I need the accountability. Like I need new ways to hold myself accountable for all of these goals that I have. So I don't know. Maybe we'll start bullet journaling. We'll see. I could also just use the podcast and just keep up with it with you guys. But yeah, I just wanted to come on and talk about my 2025 goals. And just, I think if you have an audience and if you can teach that audience anything, like, that's how you should use your voice. And so I just really want to express the, like, taking care of yourself. I think, capitalism, and we're always like on go mode, but like just really taking care of yourself and really just find the balance that you need in your life, and just that's all you really need in life. And you don't need to like inspire to all of these crazy outrageous goals. And I think that's why I never make like a TBR or like a number of books I want to read, because there's always going to be someone who has a higher amount of books they want to read and they reach that goal, or there's always going to be someone who loses the weight and their goal weight was lower than yours and they do it. Or like, people are always doing things around you. You just have to find the right goals for you. And I think just taking the time of looking at it like, how can I be my best self in this year, takes a little bit of that pressure off of it. And then it's not, I have the winter arcs, the winter uglies. I didn't get this done in time. I didn't get that done in time. It's summer and I'm not this weight. It's November of 2025 and I haven't read the amount of books I want to read. But it's, did you find the balance that you needed in your life? And I feel like that's how we should be looking at our goals for 2025, because it's just all about you and living your best life and how you want to do things. So that is it for today. We're going to get right into our song of the week. And like always, you know where to find me. istm.podcast. Deadra Ussery on Apple Music, Spotify. If you want to find the I Said Too Much podcast playlist for the songs of the week. So yeah, let's get right into that. I feel like with this episode, since I was talking about goals and being your best self, the song of the week came to me like that. Y'all already knew what it was going to be. And the song of the week this week is Bigger in Texas by Meg Thee Stallion. Y'all, want to tell you, this song be motivating me deep from within to pop my shit. The first time I ever was like, because I would do interval running, walking on the treadmill, but I was like, I'm going to get a good little jog going. I jogged for the whole length of the song because it was just so motivating. So that like my theme music going into 2025. So got to the end of the episode. Thank you so much for sitting around listening to me talk about my goals. I want to hear your goals. Where can you tell me your goals? istm.podcast on Instagram. I want to hear your goals. I want you to comment. Thank you guys so much for listening another week, and I will see you next week. Thank you guys.